tens, hundreds of thousands of veterans and families who are about to go through finally unpacking some of those boxes that have been sitting in the corner of their minds, of their hearts for so long. And just like unpacking your own apartment, it's so much easier doing it with someone. And there might be a few boxes in there that we are not yet vulnerable or comfortable enough with unpacking around other people. And that's why writing it down, literally writing it down, either in an email or in a letter, hopefully in an email, so you can actually go back through and edit, not rewrite it 100 times, is such a great part, because even when you're putting it out there, you're actually putting it out there for the first time physically. Yeah. And it's not another person, but it's another thing. You're reading your story back as opposed to knowing and assuming your story. And your level of comfort in being vulnerable, simply that it's on a piece of paper that, you know, if you died tomorrow, someone might find that piece of paper. There's just a level of comfort for me that came slowly through rewriting that letter, and that I've been doing. I've rewritten that letter about 10 times now and need to keep adding to it as the situations continue. And then finally getting to a point of finding that right person saying, like, hey man, or hey girl, you just have a look at this for me. And you know what? In doing so and collaborating and supporting each other in this, if you're comfortable in doing so, you might help someone else feel vulnerable enough to find that courage and do it themselves, or even just help them structure that. And, you know, as we talk about the next steps for Voice of Veteran and Veteran Support Force, that's, even if we are just able to potentially help people find someone that they're comfortable to help them write down what they've got, because you know it yourself, Sam, some of these men and women that we've spoken to are not at a level of emotional stability to be able to sit down and do that. And we need to be so careful asking them to do that. We need to proactively appreciate that. You can't just say the purpose is to get as much information in, because the purpose is also to support and help them individually and collectively in this healing process we're talking about. The best thing we can do at our individual level is leadership by example. You know, do your part, look out for others that you can help do their part, and also appreciate some of these things take time. You know, if everyone is not ready to provide their submissions the first week the Royal Commission goes live, that's okay. Because as time goes on, people may grow and become more immersed in this process and appreciate, wake up that one day and be like, hey, you know, today's the day I feel strong enough. And that's where we need to make sure, and what we're trying to do next in the veteran community and just in everyday support community for anyone out there, is to identify that, you know, that day might come where we are able to then support them in that actual process, and we need to be able to. And also that once they've done that process and once they've submitted that, that's where another level of vulnerability comes from. You know, holy cow, someone else is reading this, someone that I don't overly feel vulnerable with, but it's for the purpose of supporting our community and supporting our families. And, you know, they might have that guilt collapse in, they might have that shame creep back in, they might have this doubt creep back in, what have I done? Or it might have stirred up emotions in doing so. And that's great, again, to keep working through, because there's even when you deal with trauma, there's actually a grieving process in dealing with trauma itself as well. And to appreciate there are these phases we need to look out and help each other out with. And this is where, again, we need to be proactive and reactive if they need extra help to reach out, but more proactive in our everyday surroundings. For people listening to this, if you know a veteran, you know, reach out and find a veteran. You know, figure out if your next door neighbour is a veteran or is a family of a veteran who is going to be contributing to this, and start setting up those proactive networks and communities, because that's where we provide those protective parameters and layers of reactive and proactive resilience to help each other. Culture and community is a force field that protects you and the net that catches you, and it has to start somewhere. You know, let's provide that template that is ready to either protect or catch people when they need it. Yeah. That's the plan. Cool.